Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Thank you once again for joining us today on New Life Live. My name is Brian Perez, and here in the studio with me, licensed marriage and family therapist Chris Williams. Chris, good to have you here again.
Great to be here.
Yeah, and Dr. Jill Hubbard, clinical psychologist. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
What's on your mind today, Jill?
Well, Chris, I'm so glad that you are here today because I have a new term for you. At least it's a new term to me.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Suicidal empathy.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I have a brother who is in the arts and academic community in England, and he asked me, what do you think of suicidal empathy? I'm like, well, tell me about it. So it's interesting because on a few shows ago, I talked about vicarious empathy.
Yes.
And a lot of times we are trying to get people to be more empathic, right? Again, the other end of the spectrum now is also suicidal empathy. So this is misdirected empathy. Some people have called it toxic empathy. There's a psychologist, Dr. Gad Saad, Lebanese, Canadian psychologist, sociologist. I'm not sure if he coined the term or not, but he has written about it. And this is kind of a misdirected empathy when we take a good thing and we take it too far. We take it so far that it leads to perhaps our own demise, right? And a lot of times, well, for instance, he gave an example, like taking a good thing too far. In OCD, you are hand washing. You know, we hand wash to get rid of germs. Taken to the nth degree, you've got raw, cracking hands, right, in which then germs can fester. So, you know, that's a small example. But it's often, too, when we refuse to acknowledge that evil exists in the world. And we have kind of an idealistic view that there's an all-good place as if we all start out equally and everything is just about what happens to us. So we need to have empathy for everyone, right? That there isn't a balance or a mix of
But that's
things.
an empathy that denies essential realities.
Well, exactly. And that's where suicidal empathy leads to. There was this millennial couple that they set out to prove that humans are kind. So they went on a bike ride through ISIS territory. And they were ultimately killed.
I heard about that.
Okay? That is suicidal empathy.
Yeah.
There was a French theater that took on immigrants. I think 250 immigrants. They wouldn't leave, and eventually the theater had to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah.
That's suicidal empathy. It's caring. The need is not wrong. The intention is above and beyond, right?
Yeah.
But it isn't always based in the context of reality. And I know I had a friend take in a homeless person. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And tried to do Bible study with the person and did all kinds of things for this person. And then the person became very demanding, more and more demanding of this person's life and expecting, right? Entitled.
Yeah.
And so we have to add in that wisdom that's necessary to balance out. And so, again, we may have an ideal, but what's also the reality?
Well, empathy understands a problem, but it doesn't solve it.
Right.
Right? And so, as you're talking, I'm just thinking that empathy without responsibility is
Compassion without limits.
Yes, is just irresponsible. And so this understanding of reality, as one of my terms is reality is undefeated. You might as well get to know it, you know? And so, yes, there are good-natured and evil-natured, and it's all in all of us, not to the same degree, but we've got to have, as you said, wisdom to understand where's the empathy, where's the responsibility.
And that limits are compassionate, right?
Yeah.
Limits are a form of empathy when used in the right way.
Yep. Okay, we're going to get to your calls in just a moment. Sam, Patrick, Judy, Kim, everyone else, thanks for calling New Life Live.
New Life Ministries saved my completely broken marriage.
No matter how much hurt you've had to face, no marriage is beyond hope. At New Life Ministries Intimacy and Marriage Weekend, licensed counselors will help you rebuild communication skills and renew your commitment to each other.
You're building authentic intimacy, and you're learning how to connect on an emotional and relational level. You're learning how to listen. You're learning how to identify those core patterns that get in the way of good relationship.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 14th to the 16th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
3.5 years later, we're still going strong. I would encourage anybody who's struggling in their marriage to go. They are more effective than anything else we tried.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Thank you so much for having us on today. Let's go right to the calls, beginning with Sam in Arlington, Virginia, listening on WAVA. Hello, Sam. Thanks for calling in today.
Hey, man. How are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Yeah, so basically, I have a problem, but I don't know if it's like PTSD or is it just depression or is just... it started like, it's been like 15 years since I divorced, almost, or 14 years. And what happened is I thought everything is fine, but I wake up and my ex-wife asked me to leave, and she told me, and then I figured out like she cheated on me with many men or something. And act like I never know her, and like she never know me, and since then, my life is at the beginning it was like fine, but with the time, it's affected me a lot, and now I just hate my life and hate everything and blaming God every day. And blaming him because I asked him to kill me like many. I believe in God, you know, and I don't want to like harm myself because I don't want to go to it. But at the same time, I blame him every day. I said bad things, like, you know, it's like I'm lost.
Yeah. Sam, it sounds like what happened with your wife, in that, first of all, that's a horrific pain to have the person that you love and are committed to not feel the same or act the same and betray you in that way. It really, I mean, we often talk about women, how it cuts their self-esteem to the quick, right, to the core of who they are. But I've seen this with men as well, men who were committed and have a wayward wife. And in the beginning, yeah, there's a lot of emotion that you go through. But over time, I'm wondering what you have told yourself about you because of her behavior.
Are you there, Sam?
As well as the fact that your life sounds like was maybe more organized around her. So
yeah, she brought me here to this country. And I trust her. And she know that I'm not rich. I'm not nothing. I mean, I thought she accepted me for myself. And then it's out of nowhere. There's nothing. We're not arguing. We're not nothing. But now I know, like, she's like a probably sociopath or like narcissist, something like that.
Yeah.
That she has a problem, like her parent divorce.
Okay, so you have some more perspective now of why she may be the way she is. But what have you told yourself about you based on her behavior?
At the beginning, I blamed myself. I said probably if I was more nicer or more taken or stuff like this. But I knew it had nothing to do with me because the way she pick up men from the street, any man, if she saw me with someone, with one person, probably I will say, oh, probably he's better than me. But no, she's like picking up ugly men, and she said, this is the man that they're not gonna forgive me. They're not gonna forget about me because I'm
okay.
Whatever.
So you blamed yourself in the beginning, and you're doing that less now. But you're miserable and you're angry at God.
Yeah, I'm miserable and I'm angry at God, and I can't concentrate on anything. Even at work, I become homeless many times after that. I blame myself because I didn't hurt her back, because I thought I would let God do the punishment.
Sam, you said you came to this country through the marriage.
Correct.
Okay, so my guess is that you don't have family and a tight group of friends around you. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
I don't have.
So you're pretty lonely, or you're alone.
Yes, I'm lonely and I'm alone.
Okay.
Which breeds misery.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't have money, and I'm broke all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were looking to your wife to kind of give you a life, and she left, and now it's hard for you to create that life.
The betray is the problem. The betray is like, I didn't think I did it, and no one deserved that.
No.
Especially like the way she disrespected me.
Sure.
Yeah.
She said,
Sure. So, Sam, what have you...
She acted,
Sam, what have you done to help yourself? I'm sorry, I know you want to tell us more about her, but that's part of the problem. You've been recanting the story for 14 years now, and it's like it just happened.
I saw few doctors. Like last time I did with like 3 years ago, I did with the Kaiser, but they have one. It's gonna be online with someone once in 5 weeks, and it didn't mean nothing to me. It didn't have.
Well, Sam, to jump in there, right? So a lot of times, unfortunately, and this is really an unfortunate reality for sure, is that we got to fight for our care. And so I know
once every 5 weeks. You're right. That's not enough.
Exactly. And that you need to keep pressing and pressing for help because, as Jill alluded to, the fact that you're still what we call perseverating, meaning you're obsessed about like trying to figure out the unfigureoutable here, as it happened yesterday, is a clear sign or potential symptom of, as you said, PTSD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a shock for me because the way she did it, I never expected. And then I don't want to think about it, and I'm living my life. But there is something like eating me out inside. Maybe because I didn't hurt her back. Maybe it is because I thought God would take the revenge.
Well, right. But see, the thing is, even if you did hurt her back, that isn't going to resolve it for you. In fact, most people who do things then kind of feel dumb about it afterwards, right? Because it doesn't do anything. It just makes you feel worse about yourself. And you're expecting God to do something, which he will, but his timing is way different than ours.
Well,
he does hold people accountable.
Oh, for sure.
And we don't always get to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're wanting to see justice here.
And a person who will go from partner to partner and disregard a person like you, it does not have a healthy internal life. They are not happy. I can definitely say that. But I want to go back to you, Sam. There are two traumas I want to call out very clearly because you're caught in their traps. One is betrayal. And betrayal is hard to explain. You put tremendous trust in her. You moved countries. You moved to a new place and started this relationship and invested your life in it. And she betrayed every part of that. And then she also abandoned you.
Yeah.
Betrayal and abandonment are two huge traumas, and it throws the system into total chaos. Now, one of the things it does is that we can't handle the chaos, so our inside of us, in our brain, we want to create a reason for it. But she didn't give, all she gave you was a bunch of blank pieces of paper.
Yeah.
And now you're writing really bad stories on those papers. That's what good therapy will do, is help you rewrite these stories, because the biggest problem you have right now, the biggest lack of resource in your life is hope. That hope that there is life after this, that there is life for you, that there are resources inside of you that can make a good life happen with the help of God. And I think, quite honestly, God's okay with your anger, because he doesn't have a fragile ego.
Yeah.
He's not insecure.
That's true.
You know, but I also think that you have nowhere to place a tremendous amount of legitimate anger inside of you, and so God gets that source, or God gets that, you know, is the source of that.
Yeah.
And so therapy, again, helps you put that anger in its right place.
Yeah. Read the Psalms. There's
Yeah.
a lot
Yes,
of lashing out at God in that. And yet then where do we turn?
Yeah.
Our only hope is to
Is
turn
in God,
back
yeah.
to the very person we're so angry at for our life.
Yeah.
And then we have to consider, are we waiting for God to do something we need to do? And I don't mean in the area of revenge.
Yeah.
But in order to deal with your misery, there has to be some sort of movement. It can't just be sitting and spinning on what happened to you. And it needs to be in the context with other people. And so, Sam, okay, you have limited resources. There are free places. There is church. There are church recovery groups that are around relationships. There are 12-step groups like love addiction or codependence of sex addicts.
COSA, yeah.
COSA, where you will hear some of these similar stories of betrayal, and then how people get beyond it. But they get beyond it with other people. And so creating some kind of life for yourself apart from her, because even if you were still with her, you still need to do some of that creating of life.
Yeah.
She can't
Be
do
responsible
all of
for
it.
it
Yeah,
all, yeah.
be responsible for all of that for you. And so what gets in the way of you getting involved anywhere?
I think we ought to send Sam a copy of Take Your Life Back, and we've also got a lot of free resources that you can look at newlife.com. Sam, stay on the line. Let's go to Patrick, who is on KNDR in Bismarck, North Dakota. Hello, Patrick. Thank you for calling us today.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, let's see, so I work at a 12-month inpatient program, just giving students rides to appointments and things like that, doctor's appointments and such. And when I take them in there and sit in the waiting room with them, sometimes it's a super long wait, and people are coming in and out with problems, like people will come in on crutches or in a wheelchair or something, or holding their head. And I'm constantly thinking that I need to go over and pray over them, and then I don't get the courage to do it. So then I sit there and fester in my guilt for not doing it and feeling shame, like I'm being disobedient to the Holy Spirit. And I'm wondering if that's legitimately what's going on, or if there's something more to that, or if that's misdirected, or what.
Patrick, when you see somebody in pain, what happens inside of you? What does it feel like in you?
I just feel like sadness for them, or for what they're going through.
And here's my secondary question. What sadness do you have in you apart from them?
Probably the possibility that they might not have a relationship with the Lord.
Okay. Yeah. That could be sad. What I'm getting at here, Patrick, is that oftentimes other people's pain becomes unbearable to us. And that's usually as a result of our own unresolved pain. And then if we can't ease them, then we feel that guilt. Because whether it's always a good idea to pray for people as long as they give you permission to do so. But also just praying for them silently. I think that God is really at work in and through it all.
Yeah. Patrick, we've got to take a break here. We'll come back to you on the other side of the break here on New Life Live. I'm Brian Perez here with Dr. Jill Hubbard and Chris Williams, taking your calls, and we've got lots of them on the board. We will try to get to as many of them as we can before the hour ends. But Patrick, we're going to go back to you in just a moment here on New Life Live. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching us on YouTube and Facebook and on NRB TV, on Direct TV. We are everywhere nowadays, it seems, and we thank you for listening and watching.
Here at New Life, we want you to have transformation. And so we have created the New Life courses, and you meet weekly on Zoom with a coach or counselor. You're going to have teaching as well as that group connection, because we know how powerful that is. We hear that all the time about our intensives, that they love the information, but the group process is so powerful. And many of you have been hesitant to participate because you're not sure, the timing, the price. The New Life courses are going to meet you right at that area of need. Every week you're meeting on Zoom with that therapist. You're going over the concepts as well as connecting as a group. It is so powerful, and it's accessible. Wherever you are, you're going to be able to join us.
Embark on your journey of personal growth and self-discovery in April with a New Life course. Lose It for Life, Grief Recovery, or Divorce Recovery. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back on New Life Live, and Chris Williams just gave some advice to Patrick, who called in, and now let's hear from Dr. Jill Hubbard.
Well, Patrick, I think what you said about praying silently is certainly a way to start instead of dwelling on the guilt and the lack of courage. Just pray silently. Certainly offering to pray for people and being bold in that way is a wonderful thing. But Patrick, I'm wondering if this lack of courage that you feel perhaps is in other areas of your life as well. And then you have this guilt because you didn't stand up and pray for a stranger. Sometimes we're called to do that, sometimes we're not. But I'm kind of hearing a bit of an obsessiveness about that. You're not following God's will, you're not being obedient, and then what? And so are there other areas of your life where you find yourself being really obsessive in this way and trying to live by a more rigid set of rules in your life?
So we're going to send you a copy, Patrick, of the book, Every Believer's Thought Life. If you'll stay on the line, we will send that to you, courtesy of New Life Ministries. And now we're going to speak with, let's see, where's that other one? Judy in Dallas, Texas. Is this you, Judy?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks for listening to us on KWRD. How can we assist you today?
I have a question. What can I do about constant worry? I know it's wrong. I've read the Bible where it says to give your worries to God. And I do that, but apparently I pick it right back up off the floor in front of the cross.
Okay, so what kind of anxiety are you going through, though?
What do you worry about, Judy?
Well, for example, anytime it rains, I worry about my roof falling in. Anytime it snows, anytime, I don't know, they say on the news that somebody is out, broke out of jail, you name it.
Okay.
So your worry kind of leads to some catastrophic thinking. Like what you just said are kind of worst case scenarios. It's raining, my roof is going to cave in. Someone broke out of jail, they're going to cause me harm. So sounds like maybe you might feel overwhelmed easily, or that somehow you're vulnerable.
Yes.
Okay. And
but I'm not stupid. I know better.
Okay.
But it doesn't help.
Yeah. So sometimes our brain goes there, right? We're just kind of, wired that way, or from our personal experiences. So how many times has your roof caved in, Judy?
It hasn't.
Oh, okay. Ever? So every time it rains, you've never had your roof cave in?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And I talked to my doctor about it, and he said, because it's usually like when I wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
And he said, think about it. What can you do about anything at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? And he's right. I just don't know how to fix it.
Right. So he is telling you to use some self-talk, to the rational side of your brain, to talk to the part of your brain that kind of starts spinning and going off and thinking the worst, right? Another tool is also to say, okay, what are some other options? Maybe my roof's not going to cave in. Maybe my roof's just going to get really wet. Or maybe my yard's going to be a mess. Or, to look at different options. Or maybe nothing's going to happen. It's raining.
Well, and that's the struggle with it being when we're in a sleep state, is because we're so vulnerable. Like we don't have those cognitive defenses and rationalizations. But Judy, I think that there is 3 primary beliefs that we really, really need to reconcile in our lives. And there's actually 4. One's about God, but I'm going to go with the other 3 right now. One is, what do we primarily believe about ourselves? The other one is, what do we primarily believe about people or others? And then the last one, I think, is a good question for you. What is your primary belief about the world? When we grow up in very sheltered places and environments, and the world is a scary, dangerous place where everyone gets hurt, well, guess what? That gets ingrained into us, and that belief becomes an operating system in the world. And so I'd want you to explore that, Judy, is what you believe about the world. Is the world a dangerous place in which people get hurt? Or is the world a mixture of all of it, but it's a good place in which God tremendously provides for us?
No, he provides for me for sure.
Good.
I was thinking too also that my husband died almost 8 years ago, and I live alone. Could that have anything?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely,
Yes.
Judy. Because
Is that where the
then,
worry started?
how do I feel about myself?
Yes.
Do I feel capable of handling something
Yes.
traumatic or tragic?
Did you become more anxious, Judy, after he passed away?
Yeah, I was never anxious before that I can think of.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he was your protector.
Well, and
So I do what?
And so now you get into a thing called grief share. You got some grief work to do here, because grief unresolved does turn into anxiety.
Yeah.
And so, Brian, if you don't mind me recommending a book, I think we're going to send you the Life Recovery Workbook for Grief.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
We're going to send that in the mail to you, Judy. Stay on the line so we can get your mailing address and put it in the post office for you. And you can also find that resource at newlife.com. We've also got a tip sheet, by the way. It's called 6 Tools for No, 6 tools to ease anxiety. You can get that. Judy will send you one, but everyone else that wants to order that, it's a tip sheet that you can get for free when you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. More calls coming up here on New Life Live.
New Life Ministries saved my completely broken marriage.
No matter how much hurt you've had to face, no marriage is beyond hope. At New Life Ministries Intimacy and Marriage Weekend, licensed counselors will help you rebuild communication skills and renew your commitment to each other.
You're building authentic intimacy, and you're learning how to connect on an emotional and relational level. You're learning how to listen. You're learning how to identify those core patterns that get in the way of good relationship.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 14th to the 16th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
3.5 years later, we're still going strong. I would encourage anybody who's struggling in their marriage to go. They are more effective than anything else we tried.
Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying, so my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Kim, Stacy, Rich, we're going to try to get to all of you before the program ends, so don't hang up. This is New Life Live. I'm Brian Perez here with Dr. Jill Hubbard and Chris Williams. And the Every Man's Battle Intensive is happening at the end of February. You can find out all the details about it on newlife.com. Chris, let me ask you, talk to guys whose shame is preventing them from getting help, from signing up for the Every Man's Battle Intensive. What encouragement can you give them?
Yeah, I just think that that's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, barriers for people getting the help and the freedom that they need is this idea that, you know, especially Christian men, if I'm a Christian and I struggle with sexual acting out, if I struggle with pornography, and I've gone through all of the internal shoulds and should nots in my own life, I've tried to pray it away and do all this, then the shame drives deeper in that there is something fundamentally wrong with you. And if this were to ever come out in the open, if this were ever to become true, your life would fundamentally end as you know it. Guys, that's a lie straight from the pit of hell, trying to keep you from enjoying the freedom of God's health, relational and sexual and intimate health in your life. And I'm telling you, there is way more strength on that side of things than in the kind of prison you're stuck in your shame. Yeah.
So if you want to hear directly from some of these men that have been helped by the Every Man's Battle Intensive, you can go to our website, newlife.com/EMB, as in Every Man's Battle. And we've got testimonials there from gentlemen who have gone through the program and are going to tell you that, yes, you do need to sign up for this.
And unfortunately, one of the remedies for shame is it has to be brought into the light and into relationship, but then it just melts away.
It melts away, absolutely.
So it's like, it's so painful, but you just got to get...
If you can rip that Band-Aid off, man, I'm telling you.
You're just going to have relief. I mean, who wants to live with shame?
Right.
It's horrible.
Stacy, let's talk to you in Columbia, Maryland. Thank you for listening on WAVA. How can we assist?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I'm calling because I think I really need some help with dealing with insecurities and boosting my confidence socially. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I do think my alcoholism was fueled by insecurity. I've been sober for 10 years and don't have any craving or need to go to alcohol, but I'm looking for just that settling in my spirit, kind of just dwelling with the peace that I'm okay. I get very unsure of myself, and I'm doubting myself, and I particularly in professional situations, in work situations. And I've had I know not everyone knows my story, not everyone knows what I've overcome. And when I'm in social situations and even work situations, I feel the need to constantly please and meet their expectations. And I just doubt that I'm meeting their expectations.
So
please like me.
Yeah. So Stacy, what parent in your life was super critical?
My mother.
Okay. And so that's what I want you to really be paying attention to. Whose face is on the internal critic in my life?
Yeah, I'm a black female, and I grew up as a very young child. I was plucked away from my social network, and I ended up, socially an outsider in an all-white community. There was a lot of eyes on me, and my mother was very much. We had to project perfection.
Yes. To be okay in the world.
Fulfill your mother's need.
Yeah. The grace afforded to everyone else to be accepted is not my grace.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm gonna cry when I hear you say it. Because there's always a bar that I have to meet that's excellent. A bar of excellence, and it's crippling. And it's exhausting. And when people see that I'm exhausted, they're like, what's wrong with her? Or, I've gone through AA, and throughout AA, I picked up smoking cigarettes. So I'm a smoker. And it's like, again, I'm on the outside. Something's different about her. And I believe that that's true. Honestly, I'm so blessed. And I believe that God dwells with me, and I have a Savior who, in His eyes, I am perfect. But in life, I don't have that confidence. And it's held me back. It's held me back quite a bit. And I just want to accept who I am and feel accepted. And feel accepted. But I'm not. It feels like I'm not. And so, I have a husband, I have a child.
And does your husband know your struggle?
Yes, but he's also he contributes a little bit to it too. You know that everything has to be buttoned up, and I'm the breadwinner. I'm the housekeeper.
So is he also a black male, or is he a black male?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Like
in the same circumstance.
It just kills me.
No, it's in a very different circumstance, and that's why I loved him and was so drawn to him.
Yeah.
He's Caribbean. My husband is Caribbean.
Okay. Yeah.
So my blackness and his blackness
are different.
He doesn't carry the same. He didn't grow up in America. So
okay.
There's he's much more in his own skin. Very comfortable with his identity.
Yeah.
And feels a sense of belonging.
Yeah, and he embraces my blackness as a black female, and that's what I loved about him, is that I'm totally myself, and he puts me on a pedestal. But I am, Yeah.
So home is your sanctuary.
It is.
And
it
you
is.
go out into the world and you hear your mother's voice in your head.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been, trained at excellent. I've had an excellent education.
Mm-hmm.
So I've also heard those same things from institutions that I've been at.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's mom and the world around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 And do you ever get so exhausted that you can't do the people pleasing? Have you ever found yourself?
Yes, I had a almost complete breakdown where I became very angry. I was uncooperative. I was out of gas completely. My cup was totally empty. I had no room for any, messing around.
Yeah.
And my family saw that there was something wrong with me. Like I needed help.
And did you get it?
I did. I
Okay.
did. I went to see. I started seeing a therapist, changed some medication, and got myself to a better place. I accepted it. I and part of my recovery has been about accepting my circumstance.
Right.
This is part of my blessing.
Yeah, and you've been involved in recovery. One of the slogans in AA is "Fake it till you make it." And socially, in these situations, like people pleasing will exhaust you, and then you saw the end result. It's like super long fuse until you break.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think before the idea is before you get to that breaking point is to start to recognize yourself along the way of that people pleasing. So instead of being beholden to the other person, it's almost like not caring a little bit and speaking
healthy,
up for what.
Yes, there's a healthy not caring in the sense that you can't control what other people think.
Right.
And it takes a lot.
And so you consciously and intentionally not try to please, right?
Yes.
And you show up and self-talk and you fake it till you make it. I am good enough and I do belong, right?
Yeah.
And it almost has to be a mantra. And you have to put down that trying to please because you will never win in that.
Well, and I think that, continuing the journey of securing yourself in the love of God.
Yeah.
But I'm also a huge believer in, Stacy, in corrective and reparative relationships. I want you to be in good relationship, especially with other black women who can come alongside of you and speak into you. I wish I was, I'm going to be one small portion of a white man who says, I appreciate you. You are incredibly smart. You showing up in the world makes the world better for all of us. So thank you for that. And I'm so sorry for the experience that you've had in our culture.
Stacy also had a question, which I don't know, yes or no. Is CBT therapy good for something like this?
All right.
Okay, we'll answer when we come back.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His
is.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We were speaking to Stacy just before the break, and the question came up about CBT therapy because Stacy wanted to know if that is something that she should look into. Chris?
I think it'd be helpful because it really does address belief systems and how to work through those belief systems. But I was even talking at the break, what I'd want for Stacy is if she could get into a really, really good group therapy, that is one place in which we can really find a lot of momentum and healing from these critical voices that are inside of us.
And you can confront the people-pleasing within the group.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which would be really helpful. We were also talking about that the issue of her mother's criticalness is huge and
it's
almost
a
primary issue.
Yes.
Here.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so Stacy, we're going to send you a copy of the book, Take Your Life Back. So stay on the line and we will put that into your hands. Your generosity to New Life Ministries helps people connect to the help they need and provides hope to people facing life's hardest places. So if you can contribute towards what we do, we would be very grateful. We've helped a lot of people on today's program, and we're going to help more. Here is Rich in Albany, New York. By the way, you can go to newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to make a financial gift. Hello, Rich. Welcome to the program, and thanks for listening on Family Talk, channel 131 on Sirius XM.
Sure.
Are you there, Rich? Rich? Your phone disconnected, or I don't think it disconnected. I think you're there.
No, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Am I here?
Yes, go ahead, Rich, quick.
Okay. Yeah, no, we were doing some work upstairs, so I might hear some jackhammering and that stuff. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So I've called before. I was calling, a few years ago, actually a year or so. I was supporting a woman whose husband had Alzheimer, and for years, and I was friends with her, and then he finally passed, and nothing. She kind of just dropped me after that. But that's just a little background to where I am now. So I still see her where she works, and there's really nothing there. But I started dating someone just a few times. So we've gone out, and she's already lost her or forgot her keys. And just a couple things that, are giving me, red flags about her memory. And then she's assured me that her memory's intact and everything's fine. And then when we have conversations, when we're doing stuff, when we go out, everything seems to be fine. I mean, she's very, very conversational, very lucid. Everything's great. We're both in our 70s. I'm just concerned that I might be, getting into a situation that I, might regret. Due to her possible, maybe early onset dementia or stroke, but that's my concern.
So should you continue with this relationship?
So losing her keys is just one example that you're throwing out. Right. There have been other things, because people of all ages lose their keys. People with ADHD lose their keys.
Right. Well, the first thing she told me is that she's on medication for anxiety disorder.
People with anxiety, yes, lose things too.
Right. And then she has ADHD. She was diagnosed with that 20 years ago. I should have prefaced the conversation with that.
Okay.
I think that's an important piece, though. So what you're saying that those two components could be the
explanation, right, versus it being a memory issue. I mean, as you get to know someone and you see some of these behaviors, it's kind of curious, like, well, has it always been this way?
Yeah.
Right? Are you a person who's always lost her keys? You mentioned you have ADHD, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard for you to find things? And C, is this something that's been over a lifetime, or are these newer behaviors that are emerging?
Yeah, because I think that this is a real big challenge. My heart goes out to you, Rich, because there is going to be an inherent vulnerability and risk involved in dating as we age. Mm-hmm. And so I do believe that there is other more reasonable explanations for losing your keys or not remembering a number. Because if those were the criteria, I would have early onset
right.
dementia, know, but I have other explanations going on in my life that would have started when I was like 12 years old, 10 years old, so that's a lifelong thing. And so what my encouragement for you, Rich, is take the relationship slow and intentional.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and balance it out with all of the good that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we can be so afraid that we're just looking for the one thing we don't want, and we kind of cancel out the person. When there's a lot of good, and maybe she's absent-minded once in a while. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe that's okay because she's fun and spontaneous, and you laugh together, right? And there's a lot of other good things.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm single and she's a widow, her husband, 10 plus years, and she's got 5 children and 8 grandchildren. And
wow.
That's a big life, So, she's a neat person.
Yeah, well, and at 70, right, in the next 10 to 20 years, there will be something you do have to contend with, no matter who you are with.
Right. Yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah. She just had her birthday, 73, I think she is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, thanks. So that's reassuring, and I appreciate the show, and
thanks. If it makes you feel any better, I have a couple of therapist friends that got married one at 78, and one at 83.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you know what? Love keeps you younger.
It does.
So,
so
they're having a great time.
Yeah.
Great. So, and do we have a resource for Rich? I don't know if we could send him something. There's so many resources available on the New Life store at newlife.com, and a lot of videos and things that you can watch.
I'm thinking of a Dave Stoop resource.
Oh,
which one?
Living Well, Living Strong? Or
yeah.
Strong? Yeah. Whatever the title
Living
is.
Strong, Finishing Well.
Yes.
That one?
Let's
okay.
do that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can send that to you. Rich, stay on the line, and we'll send that out to you. Man, I don't think we have enough time to take another phone call. I am so sorry, but we're going to be here next time, and we would love to take your calls then. So if you're on hold right now, please call us back next time we're here live, and we would love to chat with you. So much going on at newlife.com. The Intimacy and Marriage Intensive is happening the weekend of February 14th. It's Valentine's Day weekend in Orange County, California, and the early bird rate ends today, January 31st. So make sure you sign up to save some money. Also, engaged couples are welcome to attend the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive, because, I mean, this would make a great gift maybe for someone you know who's engaged, or maybe you're the one who's engaged, and just say, hey, honey, we need to go to this thing because we're going to learn a lot this weekend, because we're about to make this big commitment, and that's why you need to attend the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Again, February 14th in Orange County, California. Men, there's also the Every Man's Battle Intensive. That's the weekend of February 28th in Orange County. You can find out more about that at newlife.com. We've also got an Every Man's Battle podcast. Every Man's Battle is for men who are struggling with sexual integrity, sexual addiction, things of that nature. So again, you can get signed up at newlife.com. And finally, the Restore Healing After Betrayal Intensive is happening in Dallas, Texas, May 2nd through the 4th. That is for women who have been betrayed in their relationships, and we have an intensive, a whole weekend for you to be with other women that have also gone through the same thing, and you all can be there for each other and learn a lot. lot. All of our intensives happen throughout the year, but these are the ones that are coming up, and you can learn more about them at newlife.com. Thank you so much for listening today and for watching. For Dr. Jill Hubbard and Chris Williams, I'm Brian Perez, and we'll talk to you again next time here on New Life Live.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE, but when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.